Not today, pal. Not today.
So, a few days ago, we went to the screening of Bad Thoughts.
Bad Thoughts.
The new Netflix show. When this comes out, it will be out. We are,
Robbie's re-entry into the acting world.
I have acted. It happened.
So well. It's all anybody talked about was how amazing you are.
Yeah, well, I'm there. Of course, they're going to be.
Rob, you are really good.
See?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Coming from Chad, I do believe it.
I mean, I thought that even in the trailer when you're running down the street, I'm like, that's some good, you had real fear in your face.
Exactly.
I
It
imagine
felt very
that's-
real.
I imagine that's how you run here every time you're running late.
Yeah, when I'm running to the bathroom in between pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, listen, when you have 20 years of pent up acting built up inside you, something comes out a little. But I'm just such a, like, even at the screening, so the way that I described my experience was like, because people were like, did you like going back to acting? And I was like, it was like going to a dinner with a bunch of people who you really like, and then the food sucks. Like, I was around Tom and these guys, and we're laughing and we're having fun. Everybody is really nice, and you're like, this is a really good vibe, and this is great. And then you're like, all right, action, you got to act. And you're like, ugh. You're just like, this sucks. Like, this food sucks, because again, it's like, and again, I'm complaining about, this is what acting is. It's like you do something 1, 2, 3 times, and you're like, okay. When you're doing it for the fucking 90th time, and you're like, I walked through that fucking door 90, I don't know, I just don't.
Yeah.
Learning lines has become a nightmare for me. I'm just sitting in a room, like, alone, reading.
What's your process learning lines?
Luckily, I figured something out later on, but like in the first one, it was, I don't know how many pages, 11 pages, and I just sat there reading 11 pages 100 times.
Over and over again, like all the lines, all the dialogue.
All the lines, and then I would write it out, because you can't just know your lines. You have to know the person's line before you, so you don't step over them or whatever. So when your line is supposed to come, you have to know, especially sometimes it's fast.
So you would write all the lines out, not just yours after?
I think I would read the lines over and over, and then I would write my own. So like you write it down and it helps and whatever. And I also went into this thing being like, I have to know every word for word. And then when you got there and you're like, oh, it's Tom and a bunch of guys who are cool. It's like, I didn't have to know every line word for word, but it's good to.
You know what I was very surprised about after the premiere was what a good actor Tom is.
Tom is good, yeah.
Tom's a great actor. Like, I was watching the opening skit thinking, this guy could carry like a comedy movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I would watch a full feature-length film of him in his like normal like essence. Do you know what I mean? Like his delivery of lines, his comedy, like everything about it. He's a star.
Well, it's out now, so we could talk about it. The second skit is when he's like in the nursing home. I thought that acting is fucking great.
It was,
because he's like,
who did they say he was?
Andrew Garfield.
Was Andrew Garfield, like in great makeup.
Yeah,
but he plays this like assassin in the first one, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and like we were talking about it before. Like that skit really sets up like the type of ride that you're in for.
Yeah, it sets the tone to being like, this isn't your grandma's, this isn't the CBS show. But and then like, you don't see this stuff, but then, so in that scene where Tom is like, pretending to watch virtual porn or whatever, like where there were times where they kicked everybody out except for like me and Tom and then the camera people and the director, and we're sitting there and they're just spitballing lines and like
to him.
Like, what should I do this? And someone's like, jerk off a dog, and he's like, and like, so it was just all like,
oh my god,
yeah.
If you had to play Tom's part, would you be able to do that stuff?
Oh, you haven't seen the whole show. We only watched 3 episodes. Just wait. Yeah,
You have to do stuff like that.
I have to do. Jamie. I mean, what I've already done is, I had to do. Yeah.
I know. Well, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Listen, I'm back in a way that's going to surprise a lot of people. I think.
Baby.
I don't think people are expecting that. Put it this way. My dad saw the episode that I did, and he said, how am I supposed to go to work now? That was his reaction. Yeah. He's like, how am I supposed to go to work? And he wasn't kidding. And I was like, good. You've been proud of me for 20 years. Not anymore.
Oh, well, I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. Yeah. No, it was fun. It was cool. Seeing everybody, but like you said, this is 2 days ago, and you said even today, I was like, I'm tired. I'm like, just being around socially.
You've been out so much this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being
We've been
around
here
people
twice. You went to a
socially.
premiere. Yeah, wow.
It fucking drains me. I don't know what. And I'm like sitting in a recliner at the premiere watching a show and I'm just like, man, I'm fucking spent. Like I'm just.
Well, I think it's more it's talking to a lot of people. It's like a lot more social interaction than you. It's not the act of being at a place. Like, where was I yesterday? Oh no, I just went on a girls trip.
That's
I
right.
went on a girls trip to Mexico. Great time. I love everybody I was with, but you're talking the whole time.
Yeah.
You're in conversations the whole time. Like when I came home, I missed Cutter, but I was like, I can't conversate anymore.
Yeah.
I've like
You're all
hit a
talked
wall.
out.
I've hit a wall. I'm
Yeah.
talked out. And then I had career day today where I had to talk to 200 fifth graders in 20-minute increments. So I do it 6 different times what it's like to be an actor.
You didn't say you were a podcaster?
I talked about our podcast too.
Yeah, not
I
this
made
one.
a
Talk about the other one.
I made a Google Slides presentation, and I've obviously never done that before. And like, you know, like the photos are like spread out a little too thin. They're a little blurry. I showed it to Cutter because I needed help like learning how to send it to the guidance counselor so she could pray. And he was like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Well, I'm like, well, at least it's on brand. This is what I do. I work very hard and it just turns in mediocre. That's what I do.
Wow. Well, you're terrific here.
So I'm really tired of talking to people. So I'm going to need you to carry the torch right now.
Yeah.
Hence my iced coffee.
Talking to people can be, and then also it's like on top of it, you're getting compliments, which takes a lot out. Like it's drain. I feel like I'm very uncomfortable.
I
with,
am too. I understand that part
people
of
are like,
it.
"Hey, that was good." Like so, and I'm like, I don't want to.
I know.
And then
I
also
understand.
you kind of feel the like you don't want to say the same thing to everybody. So now you're like, well, I don't want to say have the same reaction. So now I have to like, what's my reaction for this? You know what I mean? It's just, it's a lot, you know,
You have to vary your thank yous.
yeah. Well, you know, when there's like people they like coming up to you and you're like standing with 6 people and then people are coming behind you and being like, hey, that was great. And you don't want to like, you want to have something to say to, you know, and I'm just like, I'm not, I'm like, you know, you should see me in my underwear in my apartment. That's where, you know, like that's who I am. Yeah. That's who I really am.
Yeah.
Like that. You wouldn't be so happy to meet me right now if you saw me like belly out, just staring at my TV, you know, phone here, like probably sauce on my face. But, yeah, listen, different topic. We had a, what do you call it? A sponsor called Babbel. And they left us, which, hey, you know.
Bye, Babbel.
Bye, Babbel. Yeah. So were not enough people were using our promo code and maybe not enough people watch his pod, whatever it was. So what did me and Jamie do? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Me and Jamie hit the books. We started studying and we said we only have 6 months left of our free Babbel subscription. So what are we going to do? We're going to fucking babble it up. So if you guys have that to show everyone what we worked on.
彼をここに呼ぶことできる
Oh, look at me, Rob.
ジェイミー、なんとかしてよ。今すぐ彼は入ってくるとこ
グラント
ろ。
って言えば、ヒュー・グラントだからね。彼はいつもそんな感じだった。ホールーパスかもしれないけど、彼と寝たいわけじゃなくて、ただ彼を愛してるんだ。でもこのビデオを見て、私はあの人と結婚してるんだって思った。それが
ふと
多分私
全く
がこんなに
同じタイプのことを不倫したいの
I love when
い
you
いそ
talk
の前
about
に、これはなぜ私が肉体的に惹かれるわけではないけど、このインタビューでその人に惹かれる理由です。それは私の服だからです。でもそれはあなたにもとても感じられますし、おそらく二人を結びつけるものでもあり
た
ます。
だ、気をつけてその死に作ってね。彼らはあなたが私に
それ
恋してる
はその気にいる時に起こるのです。
それがその死についてくるのよ。あなたは私の服にそっくりに聞こえるわ。つまり、私とカッタがやることと言ったら、リビングルームで日曜日に嫌いなことを話すだけなの。
こればかり聞いてるん
All
だ。
right.
だからイ
Well,
ンスタグラムで
listen.
偶然
Not
それを見
only
つ
are
け
we using the Babbel, but also I think we got a new market. I think we can be a Japanese pod now.
Listen to us. We can really open up the possibilities here.
Well, we stopped eating sushi and we needed to feel closer to our
That was Japanese?
Yeah, that's full
We've
Japanese.
learned so many languages. I can't remember which one that was.
I know. That was our Japanese
yeah.
phase. Yeah.
Well,
It comes close to sometimes we mix it up with the Korean and the Mandarin and the.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, is that Mandarin? No, it's Japanese.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's full
yeah,
Japanese.
Yeah.
Your Japanese is getting good.
Thank
That
you.
was good. Yeah.
Babbel.
Really, really good.
Bye, Babbel.
When you were a kid, were you a bring your own lunch to school? Did you eat lunch at school? What was your lunch situation?
Most of the time I brought my own. It was either a peanut butter and jelly or a roast beef and mayonnaise.
Ooh, the mayo though, like 6 hours later, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, my mom didn't give me like ice packs and shit. You know what I mean? So like, it's wild to think how rotten my lunches were. And then I would eat in the cafeteria every once in a while. I would want it when it was like so gross, but like I loved like the ravioli days, pizza Fridays.
Yeah, the pizza was the best.
Other than that, that was like, but there were kids that had lunch next to me. They would have like pasta, like their moms would make them like these great lunches, and I always had like a bullshit sandwich and like a juice box. But I make my kids lunches now.
And what do you make
I'll
them?
do like, so Beau likes a turkey sandwich. So I'll put like an ice pack in the thing, and Beau likes a turkey sandwich. He likes a cheese stick. He likes these like bear fruit rolls.
Yeah, of course.
Then I'll put like some sort of fresh fruit or vegetable in like a little container. So he loves bell peppers or like raspberries. I'll try to do like whatever keeps. Jack, but Beau has to have that because a lot of kids in his grade have peanut allergies. No one in Jack's grade has a peanut allergy. So I can make Jack a peanut butter and jelly, or I have one of those little things with compartments, and he like, I'll make him sometimes like buttered pasta in the morning, and I'll throw it in there.
So that's the deal now at school. If someone in your grade has a peanut allergy, no one could have peanut butter in their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
How many people in Jack's grade or in Beau's grade have peanut allergies? Do we know?
Well, his best friend does. So I know he eats near his best friend, but I think at least I know of one.
Listen, we'll circle back to this, but there has just Love on the Spectrum. Did you finish it?
No, I haven't finished it. Why?
I'm waiting for you to finish. Just how great.
It's so good.
It's the best show out there.
You know,
I don't care
and
what
I'm
anyone
watching
says.
it more and more and just being like, nothing, like, I know people talk about autism as being a disability, but I don't see it that way at all. These are people that are high functioning. They hold jobs. They pay fucking taxes. They're like law-abiding citizens who just are so completely authentically themselves as individuals, just because they're not like the norm. Like, it's not a disability to me. If anything, I'm like, these people should be running the fucking world.
But I agree with that part, but I do think it is a spectrum. So I think some people suffer a lot more. Some people really...
Well, there's some people that can't take care, like... But there's fucking people not on the spectrum that can't fucking take care of themselves and hold a job. And
absolutely right. But I'll spoil one line in the show for you, but there's a moment where there's a girl who goes on a date with another girl, and they both awkwardly talk about how they've each never kissed a girl, and they're just kind of standing there like they don't kiss, they go away.
Yeah.
Then they come back for their second date, and they kind of like, I forget what order it comes in. They bring up kissing or they kiss or whatever, and the girl's like, I know you have a gluten allergy, so I didn't eat gluten all day because we might kiss. It's like, yes, like it's the best show I've ever seen.
I agree.
There's nothing better. If you told me tomorrow, like, there's a new season of a show coming out, what do you want it to be? It's not even close.
Yeah. You guys have heard me talk about Acorns before, and I'm excited to be working with them again. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns recommends a diversified portfolio that can help you weather all of the market's ups and downs. I got kids. I got college to think about. I've got their futures to think about. I want to retire and do fun things with Cutter, like going to Europe. Investing with Acorns and my future is ways that I can do that. So sign up now and join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/nottoday or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Few important disclosures at acorns.com/nottoday. I seriously love this wallet. Okay, this is my Ridge. It is slim, it is sharp, and it fits perfectly in my front pocket. It looks good and it feels like quality every time I use it. I've been using Ridge now for a while and I'm all in. It holds up to 12 cards plus cash. And it's built with premium materials. This one is carbon fiber, but they've also got aluminum, they have titanium, and even Damascus steel. There are over 50 colors and styles to choose from, and honestly, I get compliments on mine all the time. The RFID blocking tech is a huge plus because it gives me peace of mind of knowing I'm protected from digital pickpockets. And here's the kicker. Every Ridge product comes with a lifetime warranty. This is the last wallet you will ever need. Right now, Ridge is having their huge Memorial Day sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/nottoday. That's ridge.com/nottoday. Don't miss their biggest sale of the year. And when they ask where you heard about them, make sure to tell them we sent you.
Love on the spectrum.
It's the one show I have where my smile never leaves my face. If anything, just to shed a tear, but then back into being pure joy.
And like watching the show is like going to like, you know, like a U2 concert where like you're watching, like when I was watching the finale, it was like they showed a clip and then the next clip's coming, you're like, oh my God, this guy, like they do this song too, you know, you're like, and the next guy comes and you're like, and they start to end somebody's story and you're like, oh no, I want to see what happens. And then they go to the next guy and you're like, this guy, like, you know, it's just every song is a fucking hit.
Cutter was like, not against it, but just being like, there's no way I'm going to like this. And one day when I was watching it, he came into the room and immediate laughter from him.
It's the funniest.
Yeah.
And like the parents say like, yeah, no, you should laugh at our children. They're hilarious.
Yeah,
like why
they're
not you laugh at your
hilarious.
children, right? Like
Exactly.
don't laugh at my kids. Like they're, you know,
Yep.
it's just the best. There's a scene at the end where they're sitting by a fire and just the smoke is going into them. Instead of being like, we're going to leave, they're just like, it's just the fire is just crushing them the whole time. And he's like, boy, this is weird, huh? Like it's like 100 degrees outside.
Oh, it's so
I just
good.
I live for, but to circle back, I remember in school when they had pizza was the best, when they had the pizza. But then do you remember like whether it was over the summer or like all of a sudden they would switch what kind of pizza they used and it was like a different pizza?
No.
So my school had like the round pizza that was like a little thick with like the little knob pepperonis or whatever. And I loved that shit. And then one day you came in and they had like these long, like kind of, they didn't cook well. They were like kind of wet, like whack pizza. And it was like for 3 weeks, I was like, I don't think I can go to school
We always
anymore.
had ones that resembled like Elios. Like it was like a
that's nice.
giant pan that they would just cut into little rectangles. You know what I
Were
mean?
you public school?
Yeah.
Wow, I was public school too. We did not get Elios.
I mean, I
We
don't
got
think it
shit.
was Elios, but
Right.
it looked like an Elios.
See, once I became the fat kid, I realized I had to become friends with the kid who brought the bagel with cream cheese every day into school, and he would split it with me. Little guy, shout out Cody
nice.
Hoffman.
Cody
Yeah.
Hoffman. Wow,
Cody
what
Hoffman.
a generous guy.
Yeah, and he would have either an everything bagel, toasted cream cheese, or cinnamon raisin bagel, toasted
Wow.
cream cheese, and he would give me half.
Wow.
And it was just, man, it was the best.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my mom tried to make me lunch a few times and, you know, God
would
bless
she
her.
make?
She just, with the tuna sandwich, and then the tuna sandwich 6 hours later
Wow,
is
that's
just.
like what fucking so unpopular.
But
Whipping
that's
out
what
a
I think she
fucking
asked
tuna
me,
sandwich?
like, what do you want? And I'm like, well, I guess a tuna sandwich or even like a turkey sandwich and then the
I feel
mayo
like
with the
tunas
bread.
I actually had tuna sandwiches a lot as a kid too. I don't feel like I hear those around much.
No, and now tuna's like better. It comes in the packet instead of the thing. Like tuna's
right.
really, I've had the like tuna in the packet now. It's so much better, but I don't. Oh, tuna kind of phased.
Wow.
Tuna kind of phased out in our household. Huh?
R.I.P. tuna.
Yeah, R.I.P. But I bet there's people out there who are like, I eat fucking tuna every day.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know. Call in.
I was doing. Oh, speaking of call-ins, we had our buddy Johnny Questions.
Questions?
Yeah,
He's
Johnny
back.
Questions left a voicemail again.
Give it to us, Johnny.
What's he
Hey,
got to say?
Rob. Hey, Jamie. Guess who it is?
I know who it
That's
is.
right. It's your boy, Johnny Questions.
Amen.
So first off, well, I wanted to thank you for responding to my last question, and I want to give you guys a little update. Turns out the girl that I was seeing is actually pretty good for my life, so I decided to stick with her. On a side note, it just so happens I might actually be a little racist. My question's for Jamie. I had a friend recently pass away from natural causes. God rest his soul. He was a good guy. Anyway, he owed me about $3,000. How do I go about asking his family to reimburse me for the money? Thanks again, as always. Jamie, I love the ponytail. Rob? Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
God bless. I'm convinced that's somebody back there.
I am too.
I'm convinced
I
that's
am
someone
too.
who works here. That's not a real guy. How do you get the money?
Dude, I think it's a wash, man.
No. You think so?
$3,000. First of all, you got to give it some time.
You want to know his financial situation, how much that $3,000 means to him, don't you?
Well, yeah, but we got to give it some time. I think we need at least a year post-death
No,
before you
no.
approach the family.
No, because then you're hitting statute of limitations shit, right? You want, I would say like 3 months, maybe even 3 months is a long time. I think you got to kind of, maybe even 2 months where you got to hit somebody in that family with the, or you know what? Oh, I just figured it out.
What?
You have a friend who also is friends with them. And then you go, yeah, well, you know, he owed fucking Johnny questions.
Yeah, that's
$3,000.
a good approach.
That's
a
the
good
way we
approach.
slip
But
it
you're
in.
gonna need, like, is this in writing anywhere? Because listen, this could be easily argued. So you need to start scouring some texts or emails, because the family,
Yeah.
rightfully so, pending everybody's financial situation, $3,000's a lot of money. They could just be like, what are you talking about?
Johnny Questions just got $3,000 to throw around to friends, huh?
Yeah, and now that we
pretty-
know he's racist, he might not.
Yeah.
You know?
So this was definitely a white guy, I'm assuming, because Johnny Questions, I just assume, is a white guy. But you never know.
He sounds like it.
You
but
never know these days.
Yeah, and you're in a relationship now, so sounds committed with this chick.
Yeah. That's good. We got to figure out how to get Johnny Questions his $3,000. This pod
Yeah.
will not sleep.
Johnny Questions, follow up with us. What has all of a sudden made you realize you're racist?
Yeah, and also give us the person who died's family's phone number, and we'll call them,
Yeah.
and we'll let him know by a man by the name of Johnny Questions is owed $3,000 from
And
your dead son.
what did he need the $3,000 for?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
this a gambling debt? Was this rent? What was this?
Well, he said natural causes, so
No, but what did the kid need the $3,000 for?
that's what I'm saying. It probably wasn't drugs or gambling. You know, his natural
never
cause
know.
sounds like a good kid,
Listen.
salt of the earth.
You could say he died of a heart attack, which is natural causes, but leave out the fact that he had done pounds of cocaine.
His
you
friend,
know what I mean?
his friend Vinny Heart Attacks.
Vinny.
R.I.P. Yeah. What do you think was the worst lunch? The school, remember when school was making lunches?
Right.
What do you think was the worst?
Like meatloaf.
Yeah, the meatloaf is sick. I remember
I still
like
don't fuck with
when they would
meatloaf.
give like a side of like those green beans. Ugh, it's just a vomit. So
Yeah,
the
no, we would
burgers
get
were
a lot of like,
disgusting.
fruit in like syrup. Like a cup of peaches.
I mean, if that's the same cup of peaches that comes in that can, that
I
shit
used
is
to
fire.
love it, but like now thinking back, like how fucking gross.
Oh,
Like, just a
I could
spoonful
still.
of bleh.
I'd still love a peach in a can.
It's so weird to think that
They're
I'm so healthy now. I'm so turned off by that.
I know. I can't do it either.
Syrupy sugar.
Therapy.
Thick therapy.
That thick therapy. Wow. Shout out. I heard Beau was in all of his glory meeting his
Parker McCollum.
heroes of the country music heroes.
Yeah. Beau has been a fan of Parker McCollum as long as I can remember. That's why he wears a gold chain. It's like it's his musical hero. I think I've talked about it before that Cutter is involved with this really cool country music festival here in Texas. They just had their second annual one, and Parker was the headliner, and Beau got to meet him. And he was, shout out Parker McCollum and to his sister Michael, who really facilitated the meeting and really set it up really beautifully for Beau.
We'll insert a picture here. Right? Oh no, you don't want. Do you want pictures of Beau? You have it on your Instagram,
I
right?
have one where like his face is kind of not too.
Okay.
But
I wouldn't
he
know this
spent-
guy if they put him in the booth today.
Well, because you don't listen to country music, but he's huge, and he was so kind. Like probably spoke to Beau for 20 minutes.
Wow.
Beau's a great conversationalist, but like he seemed very into it, really spent a lot of time with him, took pictures with everybody. And, Beau had asked him, what's your favorite song to sing? And I think he had told Beau, and Beau goes, well, my favorite song of yours is Young Man's Blues. And cut to, he's in the middle of his show. We hear the intro for Young Man's Blues comes out. Beau's so pumped. And he said, this goes out to my new friend, my buddy, Beau Dykstra.
Oh my God. Has he slept since?
It was so cool because I just like looked at him and I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Like I looked at my kid and I'm like, you made this happen for yourself. Like I believe in manifestation. I believe in putting things out there. And this kid was so clear on like that he was going to meet Parker one day, that Parker was going to call his name. Like he would say that. And it fucking happened. And also, I just like Parker had sent him a video when Beau was in the hospital, and the only way sometimes that we could get Beau to like do his therapies was that he could watch his video from Parker at the end of it. So like this guy meant a lot to him, and just seeing that moment, like Parker McCollum, I'm forever a fan. He was so awesome to him.
Well, I just want to say to all 11-year-old kids out there, if you want to meet your heroes, just get really sick.
Yep.
Spend like 2 months in a hospital bed, maybe come real close to death. Like you got to say goodbye to your family members and stuff. But then
look what will happen.
They'll be fucking shouting you out from stage.
From the fucking
Wow,
stage.
we're just going to have, there's going to be, we check the news because I think there's going to be a lot of kids getting sick. Yeah, because they want to meet their heroes. You know, that's what kids want.
It's worth it. Starting your own business or even a podcast can feel like getting tossed into the deep end. You're suddenly your own producer, marketer, tech team. It's a lot. That's exactly why I wish I had Shopify from the start. Because when you're launching something new, you don't just need a website, you need a partner. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses across the globe, including 10% of all e-commerce in the US. We're talking about brands like Mattel, Gymshark, and maybe soon yours. With hundreds of pre-designed templates, Shopify lets you set up a beautiful store that looks and feels like you. You need to write product descriptions, headlines, or even level up your photos? Shopify's built-in AI tools do all of that for you. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Start your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/nottoday. That's shopify.com/nottoday. Shopify.com/nottoday.
I've had some stuff lately that's made me angry.
Ay.
I've put it down. I was waiting till I had a few, and I do.
What happened?
I have a few. Listen, when somebody is taking a photo of you and then they say, all right, say this. And it's like cheese, I get because it's a thing, whatever. It's from the fucking beginning of time. You could say cheese. It doesn't make me hate you. Anything else you put in there, I immediately hate that person.
Like say,
Like,
if it's someone's birthday and
our
they're like, say
podcast.
Rob.
Yeah, or like if we're doing here, not today, pal. And then like they would be like, all right, everyone say not today, pal. And it's like, no. Cheese came
just
from
don't
like
do it.
cheese.
I never
and then
do
you're,
it.
But cheese, I never do it, but it makes me hate that person. But you go cheese and you go cheese, so you look like you're smiling.
Cheese. Yeah,
when you go
that's the
not
point.
today, everybody in the fucking pictures are like people are so dumb and just don't think. As soon as somebody says say this, and somebody did it to me recently, I hated
What were
that.
they asking you to say?
I don't want to put it out there. You were there too.
I was?
Yeah, I don't want to put it out there because they were very.
Was it the other night?
They seem like a nice person. No, it was not the other night. It was a while ago. I'll tell you after. But I didn't know.
Was it like say Sopranos?
Close? Yeah, I didn't know I would have such rage to be in like. I wish this person would disappear now. And before that, I was like,
understand.
oh, this person seems like a nice person. And then they were like, all right, say spaghetti. And I was like, I hope this person falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like just while they're taking the picture, just fell backwards and was just gone.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed? I hate asking people for photos.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
even Parker, like I didn't even, like other people took it. Like I wasn't even going to like ask, like I feel like you are putting people out by asking them to pose for a photo. I'm so bad with it.
Yeah, I think the last time I asked someone for a photo was like Jennifer Love Hewitt when I was like 16.
Right. Well,
I would never ever ask anyone.
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah.
all
Every
of-
once in a while, I'll be like, can we just get a picture of the kid or the four of us, like of my family? Because I realize like we have none. But
Yeah.
like, other than that, I'm so bad with documenting
and
life.
that's the other thing too is like people in my family sometimes are like, oh, Rob doesn't want to take a picture with us, or like it's annoying to ask him. And it's like, no, of course, like if we don't have pictures or like we're seeing each other for the first time in a while, I hate somebody who just has their phone out all
Yes,
fucking day
same.
and you're snapping away and oh, we need a picture of this and you're out to this. It's like, no, we have enough. Like we get it. But like I don't mind taking a photo, but then when it's like the 40th photo of the day, and then
Right.
the people who take the 40th photo of the day love to also be the person who says, we have no pictures. We have, and it's like, what world do you live in? Your phone has 8,000 photos on it.
Yeah.
See, this is what gets me, these people, they get me going. Has anything made you angry lately? Any people get under your, I love when you have something that's really pissing Jamie-Lynn off. No, I'll let you think because I have another one. I hate when, and this is the, I'm lucky. I've had a few friends who have bought. I'm 40 now. It's like they bought a home. You're like, oh, my friend's buying a home, and you want to go over and be like, okay, congratulations. Blah blah blah. Here, I'll bring you a little something. When they buy an old home and I have to pretend like it's nice, it fucking drives me crazy.
Are they going to renovate it though?
No, they just I just, when somebody says like I bought a home, you're like, wow, I can't wait to see that. And then you show up and they're like, yeah, 18th century or like whatever the fuck. They said like, yeah, 19th, turn of the century. They're like, oh, it's still the same faucet from when. I'm like, what are you living in the Depression? This is crazy.
Look, I love an
Get
antique,
a new house or a newer, 90s, 2000.
Well, maybe that's all they can afford.
No, but I don't think it is because the house
have
is
pride
like
in it.
Big and but they
Well,
they want me to be like, oh wow, that's an old faucet.
So what do you do?
It depends on who the person is.
It's
if
really
somebody,
hard to ask you to fake it.
I know. I can't. It depends on who the person is. If I really
What
am
if it was
friends with
me?
them, and I'd be like, Jamie, old houses aren't for me. I would tell you right away.
Right.
Because Cutter would probably be like, yeah, me either. Whatever. But like, if it's somebody I don't really know, like I just be the like, yeah, this is great, like congratulations. But if it's a true friend, I'm like, yo, this is like old.
Yeah.
This shit is whack.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have an old house? You just spent all this money to buy something that's 300 years old. Like I just don't.
Well, I only know of people that would do that to renovate it. You want to keep some old charm, right?
No. But I'm the opposite. I want like a concrete tomb. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to live in
You want 4 white walls.
I want nothing in my.
Right,
Yeah,
I noticed.
Right. So, yeah. But
2
again,
canisters was a real.
right. Well, one. It's one canister, but it feels like
Oh, I
two
thought you
because
had
But see, just because I added one, I'm so minimalist that it feels like many things are going on. But it's really just one little canister, and you're like, wow, Rob really spruced it up around here.
did.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to our friend Alex, and I was talking about when I moved into that apartment. And I was like, yeah, I saw 2 places first. It sucked. And then I saw this place, and I was like, oh, this is it. And she was like, yeah, you were like, I could make a home out of this. Because it's like, I just did nothing.
Nothing.
I put a couch, I put the bed, I got the TVs up. But I got to tell you, when I'm laying in my bed and my TV is up on the wall, I'm like, I have the dream set up here. Like, I don't even have nightstands. I have
love
nothing.
that.
I have nothing to even.
I need a nightstand.
I have nothing. I just air next to me.
Because you leave your phone in the other room.
I never have my phone in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Not
It's
even in the
just-
bedroom.
Unless there's nothing else to do in my bedroom but lay in my bed.
Right.
There's no chair or
Right.
anything. So yeah, no, I'll like walk through holding my phone, but no.
Right.
Yeah. Have you thought of anything that's making you?
Nothing's really made me mad lately. I think it's just more, the group photos on a trip. Constantly asking for a group photo.
Yes. That. Can I tell you something?
And I really hope this doesn't land wrong because I love my friends so much.
You're gonna say it's a lady thing.
And I appreciate like the beautiful Instagrams that they've made. And I'm also like not one that like, I share my life, but like I don't love to like share everything. And that's like not to say who's right or wrong. That's like, how each their own. But like everywhere we go, like a group photo, I'm not into.
Yeah,
It's
and then
annoying.
they'll act like they don't really want to do it. It's just such a. And one of the best things about going away with dudes, never. You go
No.
to a bachelor party, you come back with no photos.
When Cutter comes back from playing golf with somebody for 6 hours, I'm like, what's going on in their life? I don't know.
Yeah, no, nothing. I don't
Well,
want.
how's their wife? What's good?
No.
I don't know.
You just
I'm like, you
complain
guys
about-
just didn't talk about anything? No.
No, you complain about what's going on in the moment.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
it.
Oh,
They
this
don't
fucking
talk.
golf
They
cart
don't ask
sucks.
each other about their lives, their
No.
wives, nothing.
Oh, by the way, I could text Cutter at any time, anything. I think always reply within 30 seconds.
Oh, well,
if
yeah.
I text Cutter something heartfelt, no reply.
What have you
Ever.
ever texted him? That was
How are the
heartfelt?
kids? How's Bean? How's Jamie? How are you guys doing? How's the vacation? Nothing.
Really?
But then if I texted him, I'm like, fucking Knicks suck. He's like, yeah, they suck dick. Like, it's like right away. Like I'm telling you, I know.
No one is a quicker reply than Cutter. He always has his phone.
Yeah, unless I'm like, how are the kids? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, and there's sometimes where we're in like a full conversation for 20 minutes going back and forth, like watching something, and then I'm like, oh, how are like the kids doing, or how's being? Just nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't like to go there.
He doesn't like to go deep.
No. Yeah.
Only
Poor
with
guy.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. You get it all. I got one more thing on my
Okay.
list of things that have been bothering me. The things that bother me. This has always bothered me. Room dividers. When someone has that like, or what do you call that? Or what is that?
What else would you call it?
No, but what's that? What's that? I'm so stupid.
like
right
an
now.
accordion door?
Right, like an accordion style. Yeah, like a partition room divider, like accordion style, where it folds up and
Like
opens
in New York
up.
City apartments, studio apartments, where they would
Oh
have
my
that to give
God.
them some sort of.
To me, it is the biggest white trash thing you could
White
possibly do.
trash?
Oh, it is so lowbrow, low class. When you have a
Why?
room divider, it
Maybe
just
you need it if you're
it
only.
does nothing. I could go like that. I go like this. I'm like, yeah, the room's not divided anymore.
Yeah, but if somebody abides by the rules and doesn't lean over, there could be some privacy.
No, I don't think so. Because I was in a restaurant when I was in San Diego. We went to like a strip mall, like sushi
Yeah.
place, and there was a fucking
they
room
love those
divider,
there.
and I'm like, this is
They love
the
those there.
most. I wanted to kick it
But
out
I
the front
bet there
door.
was some intricate, beautiful, like Japanese design.
Whack. That's even more. That's like putting, what do you call that? Putting bow tie on a pig.
Lipstick on a pig?
Lipstick on a pig.
A
Yeah. It's
bow
like,
tie
oh,
on a pig?
Yeah, I've heard that before. But it's like, oh, what are you gonna like? Oh wow, oh, that flower made that room divider quite classy. It's
love
a
it.
piece of shit.
Give it to me.
I hate room dividers. Get them out of here. If I see them somewhere, I leave.
Sometimes
I'm out
in
now.
fittings, that's all you have to change behind.
A workplace is a little like this is someone's home. You know what I mean? Like you go in
Yeah.
somewhere, but even that restaurant, I was like, this is disgusting.
Wow.
This fake wall that
It-
you could just like push over.
That would give you a 2-star review of the place.
Horrible.
Strictly
I
for
don't
the
care
room
about the food
partition.
at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, get this fucking
It's very
room.
individual. That's like wind chimes with Cutter.
Yeah, it's just so fake. Like
Yeah.
this is nonsense. Like what are we doing here? Like we're putting this.
I don't
thing,
have things like that bother me in the world.
and it like takes up space.
I can tell.
No, not in my head. I mean in the home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also takes up space in
In physical space.
Yes. Do we have a memory lane by any chance? Wow. See, I like when we do. This is nice. This is what we need. We
Oh
need
my
some.
God, we're baked. Did you just get slapped?
He just got pinched.
Pinched.
Pinched. Yeah, I
This is
didn't
a
have the
funeral
answer to
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Season 3?
I'm lost on this. I'll just agree with you. Season 3.
Yep.
I was right?
Whose funeral? Do we know that or no?
Let me check.
I would have. That's funeral hair for my character. I don't remember my hair
Yeah,
being
same.
that. Yeah. This looks like it's from like The Godfather 2 or something.
We look really Italian in this picture.
Yeah.
You and I
This-
look
We're
super.
given
like
Italian.
I look like very,
we are.
very.
We are actors.
Look at us.
We're pretending
I
to be
look
Italian.
so Italian there.
Yeah. This is like we look like. By the way, we got to shout out to the people who did the clothing,
Juliet
the
Polska.
wardrobe, Juliet,
Yeah.
everybody. They made us.
They
They
fucking
made
crushed.
a Jew and an Irish kid
Look
look
at
like
us.
two Italian kids out of Godfather 2.
Yep.
God bless.
Livia?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I
So
would've
that
thought we
wow,
were sadder.
if she didn't pinch me, who did? You know?
I think it was
Sarika.
Uncle June that pinched
Oh,
him.
Uncle
Oh
Junior.
yeah, that feels right. That's why I tried to fucking stab him later.
That's right. That's right.
Don't pinch me, baby.
That's right. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. The last thing I have before we wrap up this week, which it goes well with this, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what's the first memory you have of me, like meeting me
On the pilot.
on the pilot?
Our first day filming. We were filming at the nursing home where like the family was taking the family around touring Livia. I actually write about this in my book. It's a very, very, very clear memory of mine because it was my first time really on a film set. And you had been on them before, and I leaned very heavily on you, where I was very nervous about our stand-ins. I like thought I maybe was like they were still auditioning somebody, and I was like, wait, why are people rehearsing? And you literally looked at me, you're like, those are our stand-ins, idiot. Like I just remember you feeling so comfortable on the set and me so uncomfortable, and I just remember you being like, I'm going to have to ask. He's the only person I feel comfortable asking these questions to.
Yeah.
And and I remember riding in the back of my mom's car out to dinner one night, of you and I in the back seat. Yeah. I remember that as well. And your mom was in the front with my mom.
Wow. Yeah,
What's yours?
I was trying to think of my first memory of you, and like I have first memories of you that I think it's because of like the pilot. You know, like we had to watch the pilot so many times, and we've seen the pilots clips and people show. So like I remember that scene very much where we're in like the kitchen and like that. I think that's the first time you see us, maybe. Like the kids.
In the show, yeah.
So I like, you know, like I dunk like a
in my
something in milk or whatever, and like so I remember that, but I think it's because I've seen it so many times. Actually, my first memory of you is kind of like a sad one, but like my first memory that I remember of you in person, like not from the show, is you showing up to, and I don't know if it was like the read-through for episode 2 once we got or whatever, or if it was the second season or whenever, but like, and you were so skinny.
Yeah, I write about that in my book too, because you called me out. You're the only person that said something to me. You were like, you look so different. Like no, everyone was like nervous to talk to me about it, and you immediately called it out.
It's the autism. I can't help it.
I love it.
I had to.
I
had to shout it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember that's my first memory of you, and
Wow.
I know how real it is because there were no cameras there. You know, so it's not like, is that from the show
Yeah.
or this?
Oh, wow.
So like I remember seeing you and being like, are you okay? Like you don't like
look
you
okay.
Yeah, like you look, and even though you've said before, like. You know, you always felt like insecure or this. I kind of always had that thing of like, Jamie's like, you know, okay. Like Jamie will figure it out. Like Jamie always tries to do the right thing and put so much effort in that she's going to figure things out. And I remember having a different feeling of in that moment that I don't usually associate with you, which is like,
She's not okay.
yeah. Or like,
Well, wait till you read my fucking book.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that moment stands out for me too. I remember like looking and you couldn't hide it on your face.
yeah.
And it's what I needed. You know what I mean? I think that like sometimes you need somebody to like call something out, because when something's clearly wrong and everybody's sort of dancing around it, and I understand everybody's like feeling like they were being respectful, it actually can sometimes do a disservice, because like you're just like, what's real? Like there's this like unspoken like tension and awkwardness, because you know they know, but they're not saying anything. And like I've said this before, but like when you do something like that, that to me shows you care. That to me shows that you're just like not afraid of what the reality is, as opposed to somebody who's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to ignore that, when you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, it felt those are little moments that I would hold on to, of being like, feeling like it's okay to just talk about what is, you know?
Do you know if that was the second episode or the second season?
Second episode.
Right. So
we hadn't seen each other in almost a year.
Right. So we record the first episode, then we have a year break, and then we come in. That's what I thought. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you? So that was like the height of your eating disorder?
I mean, I was like recovering. I had gained like 5 or 6 pounds back. And at that time, when you're an anorexic and you're gaining weight, like to gain 6 pounds is like huge. And I was so delusional that I was like, oh, I'm probably looking more like I used to because I put 6 pounds on. But compared to when I shot the pilot to that episode, there was still a 25-pound difference on a 5'5" girl. Yeah.
So
yeah.
before the pilot, you never had eating disorder stuff, or you did?
No.
Wow. And then what do you think it was between there? Because it wasn't like the world saw you because it wasn't out yet.
No, I think it was a combination of things. I had my first heartbreak, which definitely made me start feeling really insecure. I was a time when all of my girlfriends started like worrying about how they looked in clothes. People started talking about dieting. It was just like kind of like what everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
And then I did see the pilot at a screening, and in my eyes, I was watching it and I'm like, no young girl on TV looks like that. Like everyone on the WB and all these shows at the time were skinny and beautiful and gorgeous. And I looked at the screen and I was like, that's not what I look like. So I think all of those things combined at that, and also just being a 16-year-old, very impressionable young girl, it was just like a recipe for disaster. And then it, like after a while, like it wasn't even about being skinny. I was just very addicted to the lifestyle that I had created. Like losing weight felt like, and then, you start getting compliments. Oh, you look great. You start getting more attention from guys at school. I'm a teenager. Like all of those types of things just fed, and I didn't know how to stop, because if I stopped, I thought that meant I would be fat.
But then do the compliments and the attention shift at some point when you get too skinny where
Yes.
that's
Yes. And I did not like how I looked. If anything, I avoided mirrors. I would try to buy clothes that were bigger than me to like convince myself that I wasn't that small. But like, clothes were falling off of me. I hated how I looked. And they were going to fire me. They were absolutely going to fire me. They were holding auditions for other girls. It was very clear to me that I was on thin ice in the beginning of
that's just your
filming the
stand-in,
first
you
season.
idiot.
Yeah. 'Cause you're-
So you heard that they were holding auditions?
A girl in my dance class walked up to me one time and was like, "What's the show you say you're on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's called Sopranos." She's like, "What's the character you play?" And I was like, "Meadow." She's like, "Oh, weird. I have an audition for it next week."
Wow.
And I was like, "Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough time." But at the same time, I felt like I deserved it, and I did in some ways. I mean, I was different than the girl that they cast, and I got it. Obviously, I'm very lucky how it worked out, but it was a very scary time.
You get in the car after that, you're like, "Mom, we're going to Bagel Boss."
I did when they called me to come in for the read through. I mean, after the read through, when they called me for my fitting, I felt a little more comfortable. I filmed the second episode. I was only in like one scene, so I could tell like it wasn't going to be too. But when they called me for my fitting for the second episode, and that I had a little bit more to do, I started to feel a little more calm. And then I literally was like, "Let's go to McDonald's." Like I was just very hell bent on like showing everybody I was okay, showing everybody that I wasn't going to jeopardize this opportunity, and that was unhealthy in its own way. And then I gained a ton of weight, and then I got a lot of fucking backlash for it. Like I was on a live radio show where a guy called in like making fun of my weight. And it was very hard. It was very hard and took me many years to kind of get comfortable in my own skin again.
I remember for 20 years after that show would be like, "Hey, come on." I was like, "Never."
Really?
Yeah. Even like 2 years ago when we were in New York, they were like, "Oh, to promote the pod." I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Wow.
I would never. I was like, I can't. I can't. And even though it's probably not even their fault, like you don't know, it's
but
just
they
like
didn't,
I know. I remember how sad
wasn't
you were.
protected by it for sure.
Yeah, I remember that affecting you afterwards and being like these.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Robbie.
Yeah. So that was wow.
And now you can make fun of me all you want, and I can take it.
Oh yeah,
you know?
of course. Yeah,
but
we do.
back then, when you're a kid, it's hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like one thing to be on a show, but then you're like, oh my God, now I have to deal with other people's opinions of me while I'm like dealing with all of this. It was.
See, I'm surprised you saw the pilot and thought you looked fat and not like, "Oh, look how skinny I am next to Robin James." Because we were big boys.
You were. I
Yeah,
know. Well,
we
I
were-
didn't feel that way in real life, but on the
Yeah.
when I watched it, I did. Feel that way.
What is the lowest weight you were? Like, what do you think you were before you gained those
In the
6
80s.
pounds? In the 80s.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that like I think about life now and I look back at that time and I never, until this moment, like I never thought like, wow, thank God you made it through that. You know, like I was there through it. So like, but I never thought about like, wow, that could have not turned out the way or gotten way worse or.
And I think I only turned it around for the show. You know, so who knows where it could have gone. You know, I think that was my incentive to get better.
But possibly your incentive that made you start it
too.
also. Yeah.
too.
There's
Yeah.
no way of.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
no way of knowing.
It's like with my addiction, like people are always like, "Congratulations, you used to be so proud." And I'm like, I did that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was taking 15 Percocets a day. Like I started with 1 and then 2 and then 3. Like I know the progression. So then to be like, "Hey, I'm really good on me." Like, you know, it's like, oh no, I think about all the days where I sat there being like, "All right, today we're gonna up it to 7, you know?" And then like the next day, like we're gonna be, you know, and then just somehow all of a sudden you don't realize and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm taking 15 a day." Like, you go
I mean, I
through.
kind of had my own version of that, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just going to cut out dessert. Now I'm going to cut out bread. Now I'm going to cut out lunch. You know, it's like you you don't see.
Sounds like my life right now. Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you describing
Are you okay,
me?
Rob? Should I be worried about you?
Good thing you see me eat for 3 hours
Yeah,
straight when I do
exactly.
eat.
I do.
So you were doing what? Like when you were eating your least amount,
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was all day. If you looked at any notebook of mine in high school at the time, it was just all numbers, constantly calculating many calories things were, and like constant obsession. And then like if I ate a piece of gum, I would ask to go to the bathroom so I could burn the calories to like walk back and forth before. It just became completely overwhelming. And then I would exercise for like hours a day, hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a disease. It was like completely took over my mind. It was the only thing I ever thought about more as soon as I was up until I went to bed.
And that, again, you talked about like why you go back to it, why you don't, but like it gives you a sense of control, right?
Completely.
Like such a sense
That's
where
the
you're
thing,
like,
is
I'm
everything
so in
felt
control.
out of control for me at that time. You know what I mean? And so that was, yes, my way of controlling things.
And what felt out of control? The heartbreak?
My heart, my life, the stage of life I was in, my body was changing, heartbreak. I was about to be on a show. Like everything just felt so much bigger for the first time in my life. And everyone's obsession was being skinny. And so and then as soon as I gave a little bit of effort and saw the scale go down, I was like, well, I'm good at this. It's like it's like a reward. You become addicted to seeing the number go down because you're like, I did it and it worked. Nothing else in my life felt like it was working, but like that was working for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. We went way over.
Sorry to bring it down.
No. I think I'm sure I brought it up or whatever. But yeah, no. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Watch Bad Thoughts.
Bad thoughts.